Hello and welcome back to another Python challenge. My name's Tom with Mastercode Online. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. In today's challenge, we're going to challenge you guys to build a math game. And this idea came to us via one of our friends who was checking out some of our tutorials and asked a question about how he would build a math game for his son, which I think is really cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what the requirements of this math game are. Alright, basically what we're going to do is randomly select two numbers, 1 through 10, on either side of the operator. We're going to go ahead and spit those numbers out to the user. We're also going to select random operators, anywhere from addition, subtraction, multiplication, and true division. So we ask the user, what is 1 times 5? Alright, and then they will be prompted to add an answer. If it's correct, we will add 1 to our score. If it's incorrect, we'll do nothing other than tell them it was incorrect. Alright, at the end, we'll return the score. Like I don't know if I mentioned this, it's going to go through 5 questions. You guys can make it as long as you want, but ours will go through 5 questions. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example of this little program. Alright, so how well do you know math? We got a little prompt here. And it says, what is 7 plus 7? Well, that is 14, so we'll enter that. What is 4 divided by 3? I don't know, 1.3. That's incorrect. 8 minus 7 is 1. 3 divided by 10 is 3.3333. I don't know how far that's going to go, but that is the correct answer. And what is 5 times 10? Well, that's going to be 50. All right. So correct. Your score is 3. Sweet. So that's how our game's supposed to look and work. So go ahead, pause the video, give it a shot once you guys are done. And if it works for you, go ahead and post your solution on YouTube or at mastercode.online. If you're having a little trouble with it, come back and watch our solution. We'll show you how we built the game, and hopefully you guys can learn something. Alright, so here we go. Pause the video. Hello and welcome back. I hope you guys were able to figure out a solution to this little math game to help out our friend. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through how I built the game. We'll see how close we get to each other here. So let's go ahead and first off, I'm going to import random and import operator modules. We're going to need them both for this game. So import random and import module operator. Alright, so first thing first, we're going to create a function. We're going to have 3 functions to run this game. First one's going to be creates the random problem or question. Then we're going to ask the question, and then we're going to actually run the game where it keeps score and prompts the user. So we'll start off with the random problem function. This will create the equation for us. So let's go ahead and do we'll define our function. We'll say random underscore problem. We'll go ahead and below that we're going to go ahead and put our operators into a dictionary. The reason we're doing this is because later on we're going to have to randomly select operators, and they need to be in a sequence. So what we're going to do is put them in the dictionary and then put them in a list. The dictionary allows us to call the actual operation so we can perform the equation. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and name the variable representing our dictionary operators. Alright, inside our dictionary we'll go ahead and have the plus symbol, and we'll call operator dot add. Next one would be this hyphen or the subtraction symbol, operator dot sub. Next one would be the multiplication, that would be the asterisk. Whoops. And we'll do operator dot multiply or MUL. And then finally divide, we'll use true division here, so we'll do operator true div. And there we go. There's our dictionary of operators. All right. Next thing we're going to want to do is randomly select the number on the left and the number on the right. So we're going to use random again. We're going to use random integer. All right, so we'll go ahead and do num underscore 1. Oops, underscore 1 is going to be our variable, and we're going to say random dot rand int. This will return a random integer based on our parameters. So 1 through 10 is what we're going to work with here. Num2 is going to be the number on the right hand side of the equation, and that's going to be random dot rand int, and that's going to be 1 through 10 as well. All right, so we got random numbers, but I said we're going to need random operators as well. So how do we get random operators? Well, random comes with a method called choice. Choice takes a sequence data type, like a list or a tuple or set, something like that. All right. So we're going to have to go ahead and put our dictionary here into a list, and then we can randomly select our random operators. So we're going to call this operation, this variable. Operation works. Then we're going to say random.choice, and then we'll do list, and then inside list we're going to say operators, which is up here, and we're going to say get the keys like that. All right, so this is going to go ahead and choose a random operator from this dictionary. All right, so down here, next thing we're going to do is we're going to perform the actual mathematical equation, taking number 1, performing the operation to number 2. All right, so how do we do that? First off, we're going to create a variable to hold that answer, so we'll call it answer. We're going to say operators dot get. All right, so we're going to get the operator. Actually, we'll get the operation down here. So operation. If I can spell operation, there we go. And then we're going to, using the get method, we're going to call the operation. Then we're going to pass in number 1 and our num underscore 1, and then comma num underscore 2. There we go. So we're performing the equation here. All right. We should prompt or provide the user with a prompt, basically what is, and then number 1, then the operation number 2. So we'll go ahead and use a print statement with an f string. So we'll do what is, and then in here we'll pass in our variable of num underscore 1, and then space, and then our operation, so operation, and then last but not least our num underscore 2. All right, so there you go. Now we want to go ahead and return our answer, because we're going to actually use this answer we get here from this equation to check the next part, which is going to be a new function where we check if the user's input is the same as the answer up here. All right, so we're going to say define a function. We're going to say ask underscore question. And the reason I named this ask underscore question is because we're actually getting the user's input in this function. So we're going to say answer is equal to random problem function. So we'll call the function. When we call the function here, it's going to run the function here and return the answer. Next one is going to be the guess, and this is going to use the user's input. So what the user is guessing the answer is. So we'll do float and input. The reason why I chose float is because we're dividing with true division. There is a possibility that we end up with a floating point number. All right, and then we'll go ahead and return, and let's do guess is equal to answer. All right, so now we're comparing if guess is equal to the answer. So are they the same? If so, return true. If they're not the same, return false. All right, and this is how we're going to keep score of our users' input. All right, last but not least, the last function is the actual function that's going to run the game. So let's define a function called game. All right, takes no parameters. And next we're going to go ahead and print a little welcome message to the user. So how well do you know math? And we'll go ahead and put in a new line there. All right, so let's initialize a variable to hold our score. So we'll just do score is equal to 0. Next, we're going to run through a for loop, so for I in range of 5. Now, if you want to ask more questions with this game, you would just simply change 5 to 10 or 20, depending on how many questions you want to ask. Next, we're going to check if the answer was correct that the user provided. So we'll go ahead and say if ask question function is equal to true. So what do we get returned up here? If it's true, we're going to go ahead and say score is equal to plus equals 1. So we're incrementing up 1, and we'll print a message to the user letting them know if they got it correct or not. So we'll say correct. If the user does not, or the ask question does not return true, it returns false or some other weird thing if you didn't set it up properly, we're going to return, we're going to print incorrect. All right. And I spelled correct wrong up here. There we go. All right. So last thing we want to do with this function is print our score. So print, and we're going to use an F string again. And in here, you're going to say your score is, and inside curly braces, just put score. That's pretty simple. And last but not least, we need to call this function, which calls this function, which calls this function. To make our whole thing work, we'll just call it game with no arguments. All right, so we'll go back into our terminal and we'll run Python 3 solution.py, and we'll run the game. And what did I do wrong? This would be SUB, not SUG. Alright, we'll go ahead back and run that again. Alright, what is 7 times 9? 63. 7 plus 10 is 17. 1... that was incorrect. I should have been 2. Anyhow, 4 times 10 is 40. And 4 times 5 is 20. Boom. 4 out of 5 is not bad. Alright, so there's our little game. If you guys were able to create that, awesome. If not, hey, just a little bit more practice and a little bit better approach to the program, you probably figure it out. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next Python challenge.